I want other people to be so radically themselves that they free everybody around them to be themselves. When you let go of all the things that you think the entire world is going to judge you for and you just go be yourself, it feels so good to be me. Like, I'm 47 years old. All the stuff I used to think made me somebody didn't make me anybody. What makes me is me. And like, to be able to like do what I want and say what I want because I want to connect and I want to bring joy and also because it's fun. It is fun to get online for me and like share. I love sitting in circle with women. Like, it just feels good. And that, I think that's my purpose. Like, I want other people to be so radically themselves that they free everybody around them to be themselves.
Guys, I'm so happy right now because Rachael is here and she is somebody that I absolutely adore. She has a light that just exudes from her soul and she is so loving, and love is the most impressive thing in this world. And every time she expands, her favorite thing to do is to share that, which is such a beautiful, amazing gift that she gives. And we've wanted to do this podcast for a while. And here it is. Today's the day. And so I'm so happy that I get to introduce you to Rachael Chiprut. And we're going to just dive in. So you've been on a journey of discovery and expansion for years.
For years.
And you've done a lot of really impressive things in the business world. But what I'm way more interested in talking about is who you've become, who you're becoming, and the deep dive you've been on in the last like 5 to 7 years where you made a declaration and said, God, I want to know a life that includes you. I want to know a life where I am guided and directed by my soul. And no matter what is going to be inconvenient about that or however hard it's going to be, I want to live this life fully expressed, fully alive, fully in my light. So let's talk about that journey, the breakdown, the breakthrough, and what you want to share about that, because I'm sure it's going to inspire other people.
So thank you. When I turned 41 years old, I had like, we hear a lot of people talk about, and I'll just say like, I had everything that I thought that I wanted. I literally had like the husband, I had the friends, I was going to the right schools, I was like driving the right car, I had the right clothes. I had achieved, I had like 5 businesses, I was successful, I had this exercise studio in Brentwood, I had studios all over the place, I had investors wanting to invest in my business. And I woke up at 41 years old after going out with a bunch of friends from the night before. I don't remember exactly when I went to bed. I had had way too much to drink the night before. And I woke up in between my kids and I just admitted to myself that I was absolutely miserable. Absolutely miserable. And I knew that I had every reason to not be miserable, but I had lost sight of who I was and I knew it. I knew that like nothing I was doing in my life was fulfilling. And at that moment, I just made a commitment to go after my joy, to go after like finding a solution, which I knew that it was an inside job. I knew that it wasn't my circumstances. Like I was probably on the brink of a divorce with my husband. We were fighting all of the time. Our relationship was decent. It just wasn't good. And as much as I wanted it to be him, as much as I wanted it to be my business, as much as I wanted it to be COVID, as much as I wanted it to be everybody else, I knew that it was me. I knew that I was the one that was blocking myself from finding the joy and the happiness in my life. And so I made a decision. I said, I'm going to give myself 30 days. And that decision started with one thing that I knew. I actually posted this yesterday on Instagram because I've always wanted to just like talk about it. There's always, I find for myself and my clients and the people that I talk to, there's one thing. And sometimes that thing changes as we evolve, but that one thing that you don't want to let go. The one thing where you're like, if I do that, that means my whole entire life changes. Everything in my life changes. If I let go of, for me, it was alcohol. If I let go of alcohol, everything in my life will never be the same. The people that I hang out with won't be the same. I won't be looked at the same. I'll be like, I'm not normal. And like, it was just such a big deal for me.
I'm literally like, tears are welling up in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like the beginning of a really good movie, right? This is how the movie opens. You see her like in her cute fit, driving her cute car with the nice house, and all looks great. And then we get to the inner monologue. There's a moment when you're in your late 30s or early 40s and you're walking from the car to the office and something inside of you says, is this all there is? Yeah. Is this my life? We start to live this life that on paper is the life everyone tells us is our life, except there's one issue, which is we don't know thyself.
Yeah.
We're not connected to our truth.
Mm-hmm.
And the gap between our truth and how we are showing up and the roles we're playing is killing us.
Mm-hmm.
And
killing us.
Yeah. And it's such an important conversation. In fact, as you're saying, I'm like, this is the conversation. Let's go deeper, because then you just revealed something very vulnerable, which is to say what the one thing was for you.
Yes.
I'm sure people are leaning in because many people also relate to that. And whether it's alcohol or whether it's your phone or whether it's fill in the blank.
Controlling others, whether it's like focusing your energy on like fixing and managing everybody else, or it's your relationship, or it's money.
So what did that look like to you? What does that mean that for 30 days you're like, I'm going to give up alcohol? And how did that experiment go?
I mean, after 30 days, I was like feeling better. So for 30 days, I just said, I'm going to take out alcohol and I'm going to look at myself. I am going to sit my body down every single day. I'm going to meditate, and I'm going to look at everything that's inside of me that's keeping me from me. And I did like an inventory of sorts. Like I took a personal inventory.
Gosh.
And I learned this in a 12-step program. And it's something that I just talk about because why not talk about it? Like when you take a personal inventory of all your resentments, all your fears, all of your insecurities, and you really look at them and you look at what's true about them and what's false about them. You look at your belief systems around who you think you are, who you think other people should be, how I think my husband should be, all these belief systems around how I think others should or shouldn't act. And you get really honest about who you are. And I'm like, I'm none of those things. And I was carrying so much resentment, so much fear, so much of what I thought you wanted me to be, instead of just being who I was. And so when you're carrying resentment and fear and it's almost like I was like this actor. I was an actor. I would become who I thought you wanted me to be. I'd become who I thought he wanted me to be. And I didn't even know who I was. So then when you take all that stuff out, you start asking yourself the question, who am I?
It's so powerful. And today we happen to be filming in Hebrew, the calendar it's Tu B'Av, which is the 15th of Av, which is the 15th of Leo. And you asked me before we were recording, tell me more about that, because you knew this day was really powerful and magical. You texted me that yesterday.
Yep.
And I said, I'll tell you, maybe it'll come up. What I was going to say right now is that, so this day is known as like Jewish Valentine's Day, you could say. It's like the love day on the calendar out of 365 days. Like this is the day we say is like the most magnetic, filled with love. And people think of it in terms of soulmates, but the deeper Kabbalistic understanding, it's about learning to fully love yourself. It's about having tea with every part of yourself.
Yeah.
And really allowing yourself to be your best friend. And when you do that, that is when the love around you starts to come into your life with so much ease and so much fervor, because you've already created that first inside of yourself.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like the Whitney Houston song. It's like learning to love yourself is the greatest gift of all. And we say it and it's cliche, but no one knows what that actually means or how to actually get there. And what you just said that you did is no easy task.
No.
That is not for the faint of heart.
Most people don't want to do it. Most people stop.
But what was the benefit? Like, what has happened? Because you've been on now this beautiful, like Alice through the looking glass since then. What has happened in your life? What blessings? What have you manifested? What does your life feel like now? Yeah. Because you were willing to start down that road.
So when I started to uncover everything that I was not, And I started to see like, so first of all, I just pulled myself out. Like I like went into hiding. Like sometimes for me, like I needed to like take myself out of the everyday, the routine. And when I took myself out of the routine and then I started asking myself the questions like, who am I not? I understand I'm not my resentments. I'm not my fears. Who am I? What do I actually like to do? Who do I want to hang out with? What kind of conversations do I want to have? So I started to explore like this part of me that loves astrology, the part of me that loves human design, the part of me that like was always afraid just to say like, here I am, here's my like freaky spiritual self that like, I just want to be that version of me all the time. And so it's interesting because I own an exercise studio. I love my exercise studio. I've been doing it for 20 years.
Can we just say it's not even saying really what it is by saying it's an exercise studio.
Okay.
It's using
a vibration
yes. and frequency on these vibrating plates
yes.
and then movement on those plates that gets you this ultimate benefit. Yes. And it's so spiritual. But
it is. It's so spiritual. And this next evolution is this internal spirituality.
Yes, right.
But
it's interesting. It felt safer to do it
yes.
in an external way.
Yeah, and it felt safer to be on social media without a voice. And so this whole process, so I did that thing by taking alcohol then, because I like to do really incredibly scary things. Like I actually really love the unknown. I love diving into this. Like I'm like, okay, what would be something that would terrify me? It'd be to get on social media every single day for the next 30 days. So I do these little like games with myself. I'm like, I'm going to stop drinking for 30 days. And then if I feel worse, I'll just go back.
Yeah.
And so now it's been 5 years since I haven't had a drink of alcohol.
You're amazing.
Best decision I've ever made.
Incredible.
I mean, it's literally given me my life back. Like it's given me a relationship with myself that has enabled me to have the most gorgeous relationship with my husband. The most gorgeous relationship with my kids. Like I had the luxury of saving my marriage and I wanted it to be him, but it wasn't him. And honestly, he changed because I changed. He matched my energy. And now I have this like beautiful marriage. I mean, listen, we have our stuff, but like it's a really beautiful marriage and we meet each other over and over again. And so that decision to take alcohol out has then allowed me the ability to make other really big decisions that no one understands. Everyone's like, what do you mean you're going to show up on social media? I'm like, I'm just going to get on social media every day for 30 days and start sharing something that I feel that I can share.
Not only can you're so gifted at it.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like you take really hard concepts and make them make sense. So I'd actually love to throw you a few questions that you could break down. Okay. So you said, I meditated for 30 days. Okay.
Yep.
And you've continued your meditation journey.
I've continued
and
my
you
meditation.
do so many different kinds of those beautiful introspective deep dives. For a lot of people, that sounds really exciting. They feel really intimidated by it and they feel like they've tried it and they're not good at meditation.
Mm-hmm.
So see if you can make it make sense to somebody. Like, what does that mean? What's required? If somebody wanted to pick up a meditation practice, what would be a baby step into that?
So what I tell people in the beginning is, first of all, if you sit down and you close your eyes and it's hard for you to be silent, like don't do that meditation.
Yes.
Don't do that type of meditation.
Yes. Good advice.
So there's just so many different ways. Like sometimes our nervous system doesn't even feel safe to close your eyes. And so I actually tell people to start with like a lay down meditation. Like lay down, put something in your ears, put something over your eyes, and just lay down and let that be enough. Let that be the starting point where you get to teach your body that it's safe enough to actually be inside your body. Most people can't even be inside their body. So this idea of meditation for a lot of people feels so big, and it actually is. So like for somebody that says like, hey, like I sit down and I can't be with my thoughts. I watched my husband sit down next to me. I put an eye mask on him and he couldn't even listen. His body was in such fight or flight. Like he is so hypervigilant in his brain that I was like, oh my God, this is how it is for most people. So how do I introduce it to him? Like that's what I tell most people. Like, let's do something that feels not aggressive.
First of all, it's so beautiful. I remember the first time I met Jon Kabat-Zinn, And I asked him, if you've been encouraging somebody to meditate, but they resist it, what do you think is the most helpful thing to do for that person? And he was so loving. He said, first of all, there are seasons in your life where if you're not an experienced meditator, I would not recommend it. If you're in tremendous grief, you know, you don't want to flood yourself. He said, but if you're new to this and it's something you want to try, why not take 10 minutes without your phone and walk on the beach and then go back to your phone? Don't be aggressive with your system.
Of course.
Don't judge yourself. You know, just slowly introduce this piece. And I think what you just said is really, it's so sobering to hear what you just said, this idea that people can't be in their body. You just said that.
Yeah.
That's true. Like
it's so
we're
true.
walking around
yes.
amongst a sea of people
Yeah.
that are in fight or flight. They can't, even if they
Yes.
think peace feels like a good idea.
They can't access it.
Right. So
Yeah.
cut to then everybody just wants to manifest stuff, right? Everyone's
Yeah.
like, but here's my dream list. Okay, so what would you say to that person? Let's say the list is, I want to be in this fulfilling relationship. I want to be doing something that I love. I want to be, you know, taking trips to Bali. All these things are on my manifestation list. And here I am over here sitting in traffic, really frustrated. And I want to get to that. So what would be your suggestion? What's your arc to get from here to there?
I would write down everything that person is, what the characteristics of her are. Like, how does she feel? And then with that feeling, is I try to cultivate that feeling everywhere in my life. And I try to find things that feeling can attach to that's currently in my life. So,
say more. Like what?
So when I was thinking about this house, our new house, so I lived in a 1,600 square foot house in Brentwood, but it was like a tiny little house for 10 years. 10 years. And it was a beautiful, cute, charming house. And both my husband and I knew that we needed to get out, but we both didn't just want to get something. It's like, so we stayed in this house way longer than we should have stayed in it. And I couldn't see a way out of it. But I also knew that I wanted to manifest a dream home. What I would do is, instead of resenting the house that I was in, I decided to make a list of the house I wanted to live in. And then I decided to love the house that I was currently in, every single part of it, every single, like the writing on the walls. My daughter wrote all over the entire house, like the floors that needed to be redone, like the door that wasn't fixed for like 10 years. Like, I just decided to love the house that I was in. And then every morning when I would look out my window in the kitchen, I would imagine looking at this garden that I couldn't see. But outside the window, the tiny little window in my kitchen, was like these beautiful plants. And I was like, and the sun would kind of come in, and I'd be like, I'm going to have this garden in this home that is like, that speaks to my nervous system, that I'm going to look at in my kitchen. And like, the way that happened in my life, it's like, you can't make it up. Like, we were supposed to build a house on the property that we were building on, and somehow this other house came up, and like, now we're living in this beautiful home that you actually almost rented.
I almost rented it once.
Which is crazy. It's beautiful.
So pretty.
It's so us.
It's so beautiful. It literally brings tears to my eyes. I was thinking about, this is a funny example, but it came to my mind. Do you remember in the movie Stuart Little? Because we have kids. I've seen all these like kids movies. It's like a big city. I think it's Manhattan. And there's this little mouse house, right?
Yes.
It's like this little house, like stuck between two buildings like this. And what brought tears to my eyes is, for so many people, 1,600 square feet is a palace, right?
Yeah.
I get that. I understand. But in Brentwood, okay, in the life that you were living, in the lanes you were circling in, to live in a 1,600 square foot house, okay, when all of your friends are, this one's company's going public, and this one just bought a Maybach and whatever. What I feel, the layers of that, because also we spoke about, I had the honor of like sitting with you and talking about it. It says so much to me about you. And there's two pieces to it. Number one, who you really are, what really matters to you. And you didn't want to lose the intimacy And the main thing was the main thing, which is your family. And
Yeah.
you knew that if you held on to this closeness, right, that you were on some level making the main thing the main thing. Because it's so easy that more is never enough. And you go down this, and it's LA has that, okay?
Yep.
But the other piece, which is also so beautiful and so important, is that each of us, while so much of our guidance system does come from wisdom, there's also a part that comes from fear. And there was this piece of, am I allowed to have both?
Yep.
And if I choose more abundance, will it cost me
the closeness,
love and closeness and intimacy? And when we manifest that next level, it requires that we have to surrender this familiar operating system, which has like a very intense amount of coping mechanisms. And it's literally an ego death.
It is.
And to see you on the other side of it and all that you had created that you loved, it came with you. You did not have to cost yourself, right?
Yes.
And there have been like so many moments I think people can relate to, you know, if I step into the more expanded version of my life, will the shoe drop? And, you know, I feel like God is always saying the better it gets, the better it gets. And we don't have to choose between
the better it gets, the better it gets. It's so good.
Right. So here you are. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm so proud of you for all of those pieces. The part of you that had the capacity to be defiant enough that even in a sea of people who constantly need to buy the next Chanel handbag, you were like, I need to hold on to my nuclear family. And you even said waking up on your 41st birthday, you were in between your kids.
Yep.
That was not a detail that I missed. So
I still wake up in between my kids.
And you know what's also awesome? Me too. Yeah. Same, Rachel. What's awesome about you, there's so many amazing, awesome things about you. But what I'm witnessing you do right now, you said earlier, like, I was okay having this big, beautiful business that did affect a lot of people and you had multiple locations, but you said I wasn't using my voice. Right?
I wasn't using my voice.
And now
I know
you're using your voice. If you're loving this conversation with Rachel and you can feel that a part of you is just ready to fully expand your life and becoming fully yourself, I want to invite you inside the Cathy Heller membership. It's called The Inner Circle. This podcast episode might light something up, but it is so much easier to turn insight into your life when you're surrounded by the people and the right environment where everybody's elevating and you have a coach. Inside my membership, there are weekly opportunities for live Q&A. We go deeper. I'm there to mentor you. You're going to be with me on Zoom. I'm bringing people into hot seats, and the breakthroughs are hard to put into words. But it's the everyday conversations in this community, the ways that you're going to start manifesting, the synchronicities, the support, the way people celebrate one another. It's just an entirely different world. I want you to come try it. Go to join.cathyheller.com. Come inside, be a part of this community. I would love for you to experience it. I can't wait to see you in there. Now back to the show.
Oh my God. What a spiritual experience.
Can we talk about why you were because so many people listening to this podcast, there's such a fear of being visible, of sharing, of having a point of view. And in the world that we're in, on some level, Instagram has become like everyone's front porch. And so there's a lot of people who perform there who don't really show up authentically.
Yep.
And then there's an art to knowing how to show up authentically. And sometimes it's better to just leave well enough alone and not even show up at all. And a lot of people can relate. And you've done this with so much beauty and grace.
Thank you.
What does it feel like to you? And what allowed you to just decide, I'm going to be authentic and visible, period, and allow that to be present?
I allow myself to dream like big dreams. Like I allow myself to say, like, if that person can do it, like, why can't I try? And I've done a lot of spiritual stuff, a lot of spiritual journeys, a lot of spiritual retreats, like I've read books, podcasts, whatever. This has probably been one of the craziest journeys I have ever taken, is the choice to be seen in such a big way. Like it has unraveled me in ways I never thought that I would even be unraveled. Like I didn't know the level of self-judgment that I had. I didn't know how much, like, first it comes in the form of feeling like you're judged from others. But I was able to really see how deep that self-judgment ran in me. Like it's so deep. Sometimes it still comes up where I'm like, oh my God, like it's still there. That piece of like, who are you? Who are you to say anything or be anybody? Like stand back down and to like be bigger than that.
Wow.
To be bigger than that over and over and over again. And to watch my relationships fall away. To watch people that I love so much not support in the beginning. And then to forgive them because I knew it wasn't them. I knew it was me. Like to have the awareness, the spiritual awareness around all of that is like one of the biggest gifts I've ever been given in my life. Like I am so grateful that I felt judged. I'm so grateful that I got to stop judging myself, that I just got to say, you know what, Rachael, you deserve to be here. You deserve to talk. You deserve to say whatever you want on that social platform because it comes from a good place. My husband, we've been down this road because when you go on this journey and you're married, he goes on the journey with me, you know? He's just like, I didn't know that I wanted to be so visible. And I'm like, but I need to be visible. And he's like, okay. Like we've had so many internal conversations and he's had people reach out to him, go like, is your wife okay? Like, meaning like, is she going crazy?
Going crazy.
And I'm like,
coolest.
yeah, I'm like, babe, I'm just getting online sharing about gratitude.
Oh my God,
like, it's okay. But like,
so
it's
interesting
been
how
the journey.
people see what they're available to
I
see. Because
know.
I'm sitting back like, you're doing a phenomenal job. And what you just said, what a line when you said, I'm so grateful that judgment was revealed because it's such a spiritual gift to overcome it. And I think about, so often I tell people, this story I go back to is Moses. He did not want to be seen. God kept asking him to lead, and he was hiding in the desert. And it took him till his 80s. And he kept saying, I can't speak well. I have a lisp. I don't talk well. You chose wrong.
Wow.
And God said, don't tell me who to choose. I've called you.
Yeah.
Because it's not the eloquence and the cadence in which you speak. It's what comes through you.
Yes.
So God decides like when you are called, and you decided to heed that call. And it's been so dreamy to watch you.
Thank you.
And P.S., you are crushing it. Like I look at the
crazy.
response to your posts, because cause does not create effect. Intention creates effect. And the intention is so for the highest good of all.
Yes.
You guys, if you're not watching Rachel's Instagram, just go through and look. Like the fact that you'll get 13,000 likes and 49 comments in the first 20 minutes, it's unheard of. And it's because of the level, right? What's in the DNA of the intention of how you're posting and when. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm not surprised that we're doing this during the month of Leo, because people think Leos are all about being seen. What they don't grasp is that when we're seen, right?
Yeah.
We're not seen for the ego's benefit. We're seen because each of us has what to contribute. And the sun doesn't shine for itself. It shines because it signed a contract and an assignment to its creator saying, I will shine, right? And so it's not look at me. It's God, may you allow me to be the vessel to contribute fully with full expression. And yet, in the world of this linear 3D world we live in, that is probably the hardest thing to do.
Yes.
Because you do perceive that you are going to be judged. And really, like you said so beautifully, it's really just the judgment inside yourself that you're projecting on other people.
Yep.
So the things that you're sharing right now, I mean...
And by the way, I just have to say,
ahead.
when you let go of all the things that you think the entire world is going to judge you for, and you just go be yourself, it feels so good to be me. Like, I'm 47 years old. All the stuff I used to think made me somebody didn't make me anybody. What makes me is me. And like, to be able to do what I want and say what I want because I want to connect and I want to bring joy. And also because it's fun. It is fun to get online for me and like share. It's fun to share my stories. It's fun for me to be vulnerable. Like it really is. Like I have so many stories about like the incredible ways that my life have come into each other. And I love sharing that. I love sitting in circle with women. Like it just feels good. And that I think that's my purpose. Like I want other people to be so radically themselves.
Yes. Yes.
That they free everybody around them to be themselves. Like everybody's like, how are you doing it? I'm like, I just get online and do it. Like I just do the thing in spite of being afraid of doing it. You do the same thing.
It is maybe my favorite sentence anyone has ever said on this podcast in over 1,100 episodes. When you said it just feels really good to be myself.
Yes.
And
I mean, you are so yourself.
Thank you for saying that.
I mean, watching you, I mean, it's really remarkable to see your journey. Like it's like the biggest gift to watch somebody come into themselves. It's like it's bigger than any purchase you could ever make.
Oh my God,
to watch
100%.
Somebody get free and to become the version of themselves that they were always meant to be. I'm like, yes.
Oh my gosh, it's so exquisite what you just said. It's
so happy.
Beautiful. I mean, we think about our children who we love so much, and we want for them to stand in front of the mirror or whatever it is they're doing unabashedly, right? We want them to love themselves.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the way, whether it's middle school or college or in your 30s, you just start picking at yourself and you don't allow yourself to ever say words like, I really love just being me, because you forgot how to be yourself. You worked so hard on belonging to everyone else that you stopped belonging to yourself.
Yes.
And it's so powerful. And I was thinking about, when people say to me all the time, well, what's the strategy, like, to go viral on social media? And I was just thinking about the strategy is that you pulled over to the side of your life.
Yes.
And had radical courage to love and accept yourself. And that became the gift called the beginning of the rest of your life, which is everything you could have ever asked for. That's the strategy.
That's the strategy.
That's it.
Yes.
Because resonance is so obvious and powerful. And until you've actually done that and literally sat beside yourself and invited the parts of you that are terrified, the parts of you that are brave, the parts of you that are lying. We all have a liar in us.
Yep.
The parts of us that self-sabotage, the parts of us that are just incredibly kind. And you look at yourself in the face in every aspect and you say, I see you.
Yep.
I love you. I've been there for your worst days, your best days. When I wrote my book, this last book I wrote, they asked me for the acknowledgement section. And so I wrote about my parents, my grandparents, every rabbi, every teacher, my kids, like all the people that have inspired my life, my friends. And then I said, hang on. And I said, can I have it back? And I added at the beginning, I said, no, the first person I'm going to acknowledge is you, Cathy, because I know what it looked like for you when there was no light left.
Yeah.
And I know the courage it took to keep reaching for hope and reaching for your creator and reaching for what's next. And you deserve to be acknowledged.
Yeah.
And then I said, like, if you're reading this, if you got to this part in the book, I hope you acknowledge yourself, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it's then going to take for each person who's listening right now to be able to mutter those words, that is the greatest gift you will ever receive, right?
Yeah. And what a gift we're giving to our kids. Like, makes me so happy that
You're
they
right.
know that I matter to me.
Yes.
They see that I take care of myself. They see that I find joy. They see that I'm talking about gratitude and perspective shifting. And like my daughter says things like, Mommy, or do you help people? Are you like a therapist? I'm like, not really a therapist, but like, I think there's like this part of her that's proud that I'm proud.
Of course she
is. It's just a beautiful.
There's an amazing writer, Jennifer Wallace, and she wrote a book about how to really explain this never enough generation where kids right now are overachieving. They're trying to get into college. College is harder than ever. So she did all this research. And of course, she was surprised to find out that the single thing that will affect your children's nervous system their levels of anxiety, their levels of depression. What's the single thing is that the mother, she herself has her own sense of mattering. She herself has her own well-being.
So many people need to hear that.
So many people need to hear that, because sometimes it's not enough for us to do it for ourselves. But if we know that it has that big impact on our kids, we'll deal with it. Speaking of dealing with it, you are so good at helping people, like we said before, really break down some really complex ideas and make them feel simple. And so let's talk about, and let's say you want to manifest that you are showing up as this version of you and you are enjoying that next level of your life. What is required? What are some of the hacks that you do? What are some, whether it's a Dr. Joe sort of practice or whether it's, like Vinyasa yoga, whatever you do, give us a couple more tools that would help people today to walk toward that.
I think I really believe, because I've done some Dr. Joe work, and just because it's like a lot of spiritual, gurus or whoever, whatever you want to call them, they've all just talked about us being the creator of our lives. Like, I truly believe with every part of my soul that is my truth. And I think that's where we need to, that's where people that find me, that's where we need to start. Like, if you don't believe that you create your own reality, then we're not working together.
Explain it for people who don't get what that means.
It means that everything outside of me is a reflection of what's inside of me. And so if I want my outer world to change, I have to change my inner world. And that's where I start. And so changing that inner world. So for me, like when I look at my experience, people are like, how do you get there? Right? I'm like, I decided at 41 years old, I made a decision that most people don't make. I was like, I am no longer available to feel miserable in my life. And that decision was like, okay, what is that decision? Followed by an action. And the woman that is no longer miserable was a woman that didn't drink alcohol, because I knew alcohol for me was something that I couldn't drink safely. It didn't make me happy. It made it impossible for me, and I knew it. That was the thing that needed to go first. And so that is the action. So if I want to create the version of me that has a husband that I'm in love with, that has happy kids, that has that I'm thriving in my business, like I couldn't even really see like so far ahead. All I was like is like, I just want to experience some joy. I want to like be lit up by the dinner that I'm at. I don't want to be having conversations about, no wonder why I drank so much. You know what I mean? I was just numbing down these conversations that were fine. I just want to talk about things I want to talk about this. And no one wants to talk about this at dinner when you're having 6 glasses of wine. And so the action has to match who I want to become. So first I have to ask myself inside, like, who is that person? And what does she look like? And what am I willing to do? Like, I think sometimes we think manifestation is, I think it is like, yes, like Dr. Joe teaches us, like you just sit back and you create it and it comes faster, but you have to go out and be that person. You have to go out and take the action to be Rachael not drinking. If I just kept drinking, I would stay the same.
100%.
And so being willing to do the hard thing, like being willing to be uncomfortable, like you have to be willing to be uncomfortable, because that is teaching your body a new way and a new place to live. The comfortability of staying the same is why people stay the same.
So true.
Until they get something like cancer, or they get like a knock on the door that like their marriage is falling apart. Like something will come and say, it's time for you to change.
Yeah.
At some point.
We were just in Utah and we went on this hike, and Lowell has a fear of heights, and he had to overcome because we were literally between a rock and a hard place, and you couldn't go back.
Wow.
And you had to go forward. And so it meant like you had to like scale this like tall mountain. And we were like, we've got you. And he really didn't think he could do it. It was like his legs were shaking. Anyway, he did. And then there was another one at the very end, and it was even taller. It was even higher. And he did it.
Wow.
And this amazing Navajo guide, his name was Eli, he said, let's do a ceremony for your fear. And so we went into this other little part of the canyon, and he has this little flute that he played, and he spoke in his indigenous language, this beautiful prayer. And then he said to him, fear, a psychologist would say, fear, let's see, where does this come from? Let's analyze, where this started. Da, da, da. He said, but in the Navajo, we would say the fear was an invitation for you to reveal the greatest light inside yourself.
Mm.
And when you keep resisting these edges, you're keeping yourself from revealing the light within you.
I love that. I always say, I look at it all as an opportunity.
Yeah.
Like every single hard thing that comes to me is like, okay, what are you going to do with this?
Yeah.
Where are you going to go with this? Like, are you going to let yourself be taken by the fear, or are you going to look at this as an opportunity to just grow and live more in the light?
What I like to sort of shout from the rooftops is once you manipulate your own energy and do change the world within yourself,
Yep.
literally how God meets you there, it's literally like walking through Candyland where you can literally ask God for the receipts. He's good for it. You go out for the day and the amount of synchronicity, the little golden Easter eggs that are waiting in every moment. Every day I wake up and say, God, open my eyes and show me how good it is.
I know.
And show me where I can be a blessing.
I know.
And I want to be there. I don't want to miss a moment where you could use me as a vehicle to do something good.
I know.
And you will be rewarded. And then and so people are like, how is your life? You always have these synchronicity stories. I'm like, so do you.
Yep.
You just didn't necessarily see it because your radio station was set to worry and overwhelm as opposed to everything's an opportunity.
Everything.
So speaking of opportunities, we're kind of wrapping up in the next few minutes. If people want the opportunity to work with you or be with you, tell them where they can find you. Are you doing circles? Are you coaching? What are the ways that people can work with you?
I'm doing circles. I'm also doing some coaching. You can find me on Substack. I'm actually growing a community there. I love writing there. It's just
so good.
It's just nice that there's no algorithm. I like that it's just a community of people. It kind of blows my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Instagram, you can find me on Instagram. And if you're in LA and you want to do vibration training, come find me there at PLATEFIT.
So cool.
It is.
If you are going to give somebody one thing today that they could go do, they listen to this episode, they feel so connected, what would be one practice or one thing to do that gets them closer to being able to sit in the energy that you're in right now?
I would write out with very, very much, as much detail as possible, who you want to be and how you want to feel. How do you want to feel when you wake up in the morning? How do you want to feel in the middle of the day? How do you want to feel when you come home to your home? How do you want to feel when you go to sleep at night? How do you want to feel inside of your life? And just get really clear on who that is. And then figure out tiny little steps that you can take to achieve that today without getting too big picture. I wanted to feel better. And so I was like, what's going to make me feel better today? And so I did those things, as small as they were. Lighting a candle, it makes me feel good.
Oh, me too.
I love it.
I know.
Every single morning.
Yep.
Lighting some sage and
I love that too.
Palo Santo, I'm obsessed with it.
It's beautiful.
It makes me happy. Pulling a card. I like all these things. They're not spirituality, but they make me feel great.
Yeah.
They make me feel great. They make me feel connected. They make me feel like I'm in a ritual.
Yeah.
And so
that's why I light Shabbat candles, because
yes.
It's the word mitzvah, there's 630, people think there's 10 commandments, but for Jewish people, there's 613 of them. And the word commandment, it's not actually the word. The word mitzvah means connection, right? To plug in. And so there's these spiritual technologies that plug you in, and lighting sage plugs you in, and going out in nature or taking off your shoes in the grass plugs you in. There's literally a grid you get plugged into. So correct. Yeah. And what I love about what you just said is you didn't say write down with specific detail the stuff you want.
No.
You didn't say write down the color of the front door of this house and what flowers are in the garden and how tall the guy is and what color eyes he has. You did not say that. You said, how do you want to feel? Because we didn't come here for a pile of things.
No.
We came here for how we want to feel. Because whether you live in a 1,600 square foot house or a 16,000 square foot house, you live in here.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't get shared enough. That's what you want to write down. That's what you want to keep intending and focusing on is, how do I want to feel when I wake up? How do I want to feel when I'm at dinner with my kids? How do I want to feel? Do I want to feel rushed? Do I want to feel constantly stressed? Do I want to feel constantly behind? And if not, what racket needs to change in my head?
When you ask yourself that question, you immediately change your actions.
Yeah,
like it's like this interesting thing. I'm like you're like, how do I want to feel at dinner tonight?
That's true.
Like I went to the park on Monday night and we have a potluck at this park. And it's so
cute.
I'm so cute every Monday night. It's amazing. It's like I just couldn't have dreamed. I dreamed it up.
Okay.
But I was like, so I would go to the park and I was like, how do I want to feel at this potluck? Because we don't know very many people yet in the canyon. And I was like, I just want to feel present. I want to feel present. I want to stay as long as I want to stay. I wanted to create a beautiful potluck. I got this like the tablecloth. I made food. Like I just did the whole thing. And I put my phone down for the entire time. But I didn't think about putting my phone down.
Yeah.
When I said how I want to feel at the dinner, that just enabled me to put it down. And I just felt connected. And we were there until like 8:30 at night.
It's so simple.
It was incredible.
Yeah. By the way, that is what hooked me on Shabbat, is that dinners where people don't have their phones out.
It's the best.
I was like, what is this? Like, I grew up so secular. Mm-hmm. And someone's like, come to a Shabbat dinner. I'm like, that sounds weird. I'm like, I was like 19 and I go and I'm like, you mean you just sit here and talk? No one's watching TV. You're just sitting, it's like, and everybody can have that.
Yes.
You can have it on Sunday night.
Yeah.
You can have it Tuesday morning. You can have it Monday night. Yeah. And it's so powerful when you just said, just ask the question, how do I want to feel? Mm-hmm. Because it does change your actions.
Yeah.
Rachel, you are magnificent. I feel like when God was making you, he just took extra time.
Same,
because
Cathy.
you were like stunning. And your level of beauty on the outside is matched by your level of courage and vulnerability.
Thank you. I love you so much.
So much.
Thank you for having me. It's like such an honor to like
such
sit
an
here and
honor.
talk with you.
I've wanted to do this, and I've been like not in LA and in LA, and I'm so happy. And of course, it happened on this day of the year.
Yep.
It makes so much sense. So you guys, you definitely want to be following Rachael. We'll put all the links in the show notes. And if you enjoyed this episode and if it moved you, DM her on Instagram and tell her, because I know that it always feels good to hear that it's impacting you. Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you so much for listening to Everything Is Energy. I hope that you remember what Rachael said. It feels so good to be yourself. So many of us have spent years building a life that looks right, and we're learning how to belong to everyone else our whole life, but we're losing the sense of belonging to ourselves. Rachael gives us a simple place to start. Decide how you want to feel, and then let that change what you do. She wanted to feel present at dinner, so she put down her phone. This week, pick one moment in your day and ask, how do I want to feel here? Then make one choice that supports it. And if this conversation lights something up in you, I want to invite you in to the Cathy Heller membership. Inside of my inner circle, this is where all of the magic happens. This podcast, it might remind you what's possible. When you come inside of the community, we practice and we allow you to celebrate who you're becoming, and you start manifesting things in the most amazing way. Go to link.cathyheller.com and join us. I would love to see you. Every single week, I'm live on Zoom. Every single week, I'm coaching. The breakthroughs are amazing. The community is incredible. And you get to come to live events that we have. We just did one and it was sensational. I love you so much, and I'll see you next time.